Hello and welcome to Love Lingerie. Today's tutorial will be showing you how to sew with shirring elastic. And for those of you that don't know, shirring elastic is an elastic that's a very thin elastic that looks like this. It's also stretchable. And the technique of shirring is basically sewing in parallel lines or parallel rows with the very thin elastic that I have shown you before. This creates a gathered look to a finished garment. Generally, shirring is used on things like bodices, on a blouse or a dress, blouse cuffs, or you can even see it on swimwear. So one of the first things you need to do before we start to do the shirring technique is when you have your fabric ready, you always need to make sure that you've done your hemming first, because once you start shirring, it's very difficult to do a hem once the shirring has finished, and you'll see why at the end, because it will create a rippled look. So always make sure you've done your hemming first before you start the shirring process. And I've also got my fabric cut to the size that I require. So now that I've got my hemming done and my fabric cut to the size that I require, I've also got my normal cotton that I would use as the standard cotton at the top of the machine. So the next step is, once you've got your normal cotton threaded, is we need to load or wind the bobbin. So here's my bobbin here. You can see that I've got the elastic wrapped around the bobbin. Now the way to load your bobbin or wind the elastic onto your bobbin is to do it by hand. Try not to pull or stretch the elastic or do it too tightly, just so that it's nice and firmly wrapped around your bobbin. Once you have done that, then you can load it into your machine as you would per your machine requirements. Now shirring generally requires a slightly tighter tension, so I've got my tension at the moment set at number 4, and I've got my stitch length or my stitch width set at 3.5. Now I've already loaded the fabric under the foot, and I've already got the needle down into the fabric. I've already started sewing a few centimetres in, but what I would like to say at this stage is, when you are lining your fabric up ready to start, it's always best if you have your foot in line with your hemming line here. That way you can use the foot edge to guide you in the straight line. Also, your fabric needs to be the right side up when you're sewing as well. So I'm just going to continue on now sewing until I reach the end of my fabric. Now just keep guiding that through, trying to keep it as straight as possible. Now I'm coming to the end, so I'm just going to do one more, and then I'm going to do a back stitch that will secure the elastic and the cotton in place. So that is my first line of shirring completed. I'm now going to attempt to do another row, and you just basically keep using the same process to complete each row, keeping them the same distance apart. So I'm now completing my second row, and I just have to stretch that out. As you can see, I've got my foot edge in line with my first row that I created before. And I'm basically aiming for about a 1 centimetre gap between each row. When you are shirring, it can be quite a bit of noisy process. So there you have my second row here, and that's starting to develop quite a nice sleeve cuff if I wanted to use this as a sleeve. But as this is just an example, you can see both the rows there. So now doing my third row, and again keeping that foot in line with the previous row that I have created. Securing the ends. And I'd just like to say at this stage that the fabric that I'm using is a chiffon fabric, so shirring is really good to do on lightweight fabrics. You can do it on heavier ones, but it does work best on a lightweight fabric. So I'm just going to do one more row just to complete the process. So you do need to stretch it out a bit just so that you can keep the foot in line with your previous row. So you basically continue that same process, creating those parallel lines all the way until you've finished your piece of fabric that you are working on. So once you have finished a process, you should have something that ends up looking like this. So you can see that's where I've hemmed off first, and that's why you would do your hem first, and then you can see all the parallel lines that I have created with that elastic, and that's why we do it on the right side, so that we get the nice cotton effect on the top. So that is the right side once it is finished, and this is the wrong side, so that's what the wrong side should look like. So that is how you sew with shirring elastic to create a nice gathered effect. So that ends my session for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, leave a comment and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you all again next time on Love Lingerie.